Following up on my main video where in the segment I said it's a big club and you ain't in it. That was actually Jacobin Magazine, the socialists, who posted that image, where they included this image of Ellen DeGeneres sitting with George W. Bush. It is a big club. You ain't in it. And guess what? Neither are you, Trump. Ellen DeGeneres is a hypocrite. At least according to Insider.com. Well, I happen to agree. For those that missed the controversy, an image went viral of Ellen DeGeneres sitting next to George W. Bush. I was surprised to see so many people in the, anti-SJW, politically homeless side, defending Ellen and saying good on her, because here's what happened. This photo goes viral. All of these leftists are like, how dare you sit with this man? Ellen comes out and goes, I happen to have friends who disagree politically. And then I see a bunch of people saying, good for you, Ellen. And I was like, kind of good for you. Here's the thing. First, in this controversy, Ellen was not going to the game with George W. Bush. She was invited by a rich guy, and she happened to have been sitting next to George W. Bush. She doesn't have to be friends with him to be polite. So for everybody saying, she's friends with him and all that stuff like it's a good thing, like, no, hold on. I will not be friends with someone like George W. Bush, but I'm also going to be able to sit next to him and live like a normal human being. Okay, that's fine. But here's the real kicker. After this heartfelt statement that went viral, where she said, you have to respect people who disagree with you and still be friends. Remember when she refused to have Trump on her show because he's for everything I'm against? And what is that, your establishment crony buddies like George W. Bush? Insider says, people are calling Ellen DeGeneres a hypocrite after comments she made about Trump 2 years ago resurfaced amid backlash about her friendship with George W. Bush. That's right. You see, she refused to have him on her show, and she said, what's the quote? Is it here? She said something like, we'll read through these tweets, said Trump stands for everything I'm against. Bush is worse. Like, come on, man. Even Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks mentioned this, that if Trump keeps us out of war with Iran, he'll have been a better president than George Bush was. It's a fact. It's not even hard to argue. Let's read, though. They say, talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, let's zoom in a little bit, is facing new criticism that her political stance is inconsistent after her past statement about refusing to let President Donald Trump on her show resurfaced on Tuesday. Do they actually have that quote? Oh, they do. Yeah, let's do this. I think they have the actual quote here. This is from May 5th, 2017. He's against everything I stand for. Ellen DeGeneres won't have Donald Trump as a guest on her hit daytime show. I'm not going to change his mind, she told Matt Lauer during a pre-taped interview on Friday's Today Show, of her reasoning for not having Trump on her talk show. He's against everything I stand for. Now, I will admit, I can be fair here and say there's a big difference between sitting next to someone at a ball game and inviting them onto your show. However, everyone's trying to play this up like Ellen is friends with Bush and it's great that she's entertaining, like we can disagree on things. If she really felt that way, she would have him on her show. I have had many people I disagree with on my YouTube channels, okay? And there are many people on YouTube who have been smeared relentlessly for arguing and debating with people they don't like. So Ellen, why aren't you going to have him on your show, but you're going to have no problem highlighting on your show that you and George Bush are friends? Because that's the important point. Okay, fine. You don't want Trump on your show espousing his views? Great. You went on your show and defended George W. Bush as someone you can get along with despite disagreeing, okay? And George Bush is many times worse than Trump. DeGeneres acknowledges that she does not know the president. So in the past, he had appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, also known as Ellen, to promote his NBC reality show The Apprentice in its early seasons, but things have become icy between the two since the election. I knew him then. I have not spoken to him since he's run for president or become president. A big supporter of LGBTQ rights, and an out lesbian for more than 2 decades, DeGeneres likely disagrees with Trump's recent executive order that revokes federal guidelines giving bathroom rights to transgender Americans. She further explained what she believes Trump lacks as a leader. We need to look at someone else who looks different than us and believes in something that we don't believe in and still accept them and still let them have rights, she said. Wait, I'm confused. Is she talking about Trump or is she talking about not Trump? I don't know. But let's read this, the story from today. DeGeneres was recently criticized for having a friendship with George W. Bush, and Twitter users were quick to accuse the host of hypocrisy. Wasn't at the Ellen Show the one who wouldn't let Donald Trump on her show because she doesn't agree with his political views, one user said. And that's Kathy Zhu, who is a Trump supporter. Others shared similar sentiments, calling out DeGeneres for her past statement and even referring to her as a hypocrite. Hey, The Ellen Show. Loved your comments this week re-sitting with former President George Bush at a football game. Can you help reconcile your statement, re-President Trump, shown here versus what you said about George W. Bush? Is this the same Ellen DeGeneres who gratuitously announced that President Trump would never be on her show? Is this the same W. Bush who for 8 years had routinely had the, censored, S word kicked out of him by showbiz types? Perfect match from this angle, spare me. Respect. I have lots of friends with different backgrounds and different views. Understanding starts with an open heart. Wait, you mean the same Ellen DeGeneres who refused a lot? Okay, we get the point. She refused Trump on the air. You know, I was actually surprised to see so many people take such a strong stance in support of Ellen. Because if it wasn't clear, so I made a video about this, okay, the day after it happened or whatever. And if it wasn't clear, my stance is basically, no, you don't have to be friends with George W. Bush. Okay, everybody was saying like, oh, so heartwarming that she's saying that we can all come together. And I'm like, dude, I really don't like George W. Bush. Like, Middle East war for 20 years. The point is, we don't have to pretend to like each other. We don't have to be friends. We can be friends, but I see no problem with saying, Ellen, don't defend Trump and act like he's a good dude. Just simply point out, first of all, y'all can't come at me because I sat next to a guy. How about that? How about that being the basic standard? If you see me sitting next to someone, stop assuming I'm friends with them, okay? Why couldn't she have said that? That's what I'd say. Oh, you saw me sitting next to George W. Bush? Yeah, I was at a football game. We were in the expensive seats. He was also at a football game. We sat next to each other. But it is true because there's this viral video of Michelle Obama giving him candy. And there's polls, and I find it absolutely detestable and disgusting. I do not like him. I am no fan of his. Okay, he's in my opinion, one of the worst presidents of my lifetime. I say one of because it's hard to quantify, right? I'm not going to act like I'm a political expert when I was a little kid and know too much about Bill Clinton or, Bush Sr. The point is, the Middle Eastern wars were a disaster with a massive loss of civilian life. And the point, look, man, I don't want to play a game where it's one or the other. I don't want to play a game where you have to either hate somebody or love somebody. It can be as simple as, listen, I don't like him. But in America, we don't like a lot of people. She goes on to say she's friends with him, and people cheered her for it. Her show isn't political. This message is actually a rare moment of honest reflection. Why invite divisiveness on a show that is known to bring everyone together? No, I disagree. So we have more responses, apparently in defense. Kathy, you may have a point, but perhaps it's best to leave this one be. I think Ellen made some very good points, and just maybe people are doing some reflecting as to how they treat others who are different. It's a start. We don't have to engage in every conflict out there. No, it's Ellen DeGeneres in the club. Trump's not in the club. We know he's not in the club. It doesn't mean you have to like the guy or support him, but come on, we know he's not in the club. That's why people voted for him. He's an outsider. He was anti-establishment. He's a right-wing populist, and even the Republicans, many of them don't like him. He became never-Trumpers and went and voted for Hillary Clinton. There's a club. Ellen's in it. Bush is in it. Michelle Obama's in it, and that's all that really matters. They'll pretend to oppose each other and then hang out and have a good laugh. Donald Trump is not one of those people. He's the outsider. They're the popular clique. They're going to be like, hey, as long as you play ball, I'm going to support you. They say many people took issue with the fact that DeGeneres, a gay woman, was friendly with Bush, whose controversial decisions around the Iraq War have led many to refer to him as a war criminal. I think it was the International Criminal Court. I don't want to get into all that stuff, man. Okay. And who was notoriously conservative when it came to LGBTQ rights during his presidency. Yes, much more conservative than Trump. The host addressed the controversy during a taping of her show. We get it. You know what, man? First of all, everything gets blown out of proportion. Everything is drama. Everything is just an attempt for someone to get clicks. It's possible to be critical of Ellen and still be like, everybody needs to chill out. We don't got to act like she's some good person. It's always one or the other. This person, Roxanne Gay, says, I am very perturbed by Ellen's explanation video. She made it way worse by making it all a joke and minimizing the criticism and not acknowledging the real issue. It's not that GWB is conservative at all. What a shame. I actually agree. And the thing is, she doesn't have to be rude to the guy or whatever. Most of us would just sit there awkwardly, not start a revolution. But to call him her friend and say we all have friends with different views, yes, girl, but my conservative friends didn't start a war. I agree. That's how I feel. Okay, look. There are a lot of people on the left that I'm very polite with that I don't like. There are a lot of conservatives I'm polite with I don't like. And there are a lot of people on the left and the right who I do like and I actually am friends with. It's fair to say that Ellen doesn't have to be friends with the guy. George W. Bush is not somebody we should be celebrating. You know, whatever, man. Aaron Rupar says, I don't care how nice of a guy George W. Bush is. He was one of our worst presidents and left our country and world in bad shape. You know, it's really funny because I find myself more in agreement with many on the left here. Okay, seeing all of these people in the, like, intellectual dark web space and whatever being like, good for you, Ellen. It's like, oh, please, dude. When it came to having Trump on her show, her opinion was inverted. No, he stands for what I disagree with. Whatever, man. I'm done. You get the point. I got a couple more segments coming up. Stick around. I'll see you shortly.